Good morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist Bob Acanfrio with today's tropical update for Sunday, October 24, 2010. Continuing to watch Tropical Storm Richard today as he moved pretty close to the Bay Islands of the Honduras coastline here, just north of Roatan Island here as it moved just north of them this morning. Definitely they have been spared the worst of this system as it's now really starting to come together as it just passes by them. They've probably been sustained some tropical storm force winds along the islands here this morning. We'll get some definite reports out of them in the next few hours or a few days, see what went on down there. Our next immediate threat will be Belize here. This is going to come pretty close to this Belize city here in approximately about 10 hours. And definitely is getting better organized. I'm going to show you that on the satellite. And we probably have a hurricane now. As of 8 a.m., it was still Tropical Storm Richard with 70-mile-per-hour winds. But the hurricane hunters have been out in here investigating the system the last few hours. And definitely this should be upgraded to about a 75 to 80-mile-per-hour hurricane at the 11 a.m. advisory. Still a chance it could get close to a Category 2 hurricane before landfall. Everything is perfect. Like I said, it has about 10 more hours, and now it's really in that stage where it's really getting itself together. So probably low-end Category 1, definitely still that possibility of a Category 2 system. Yesterday, it looked like it was going to hug the coast a little more. There was still some dry air issues. I only gave it about a 20% chance of becoming a hurricane. But then we saw, especially overnight, we saw a little bit of more of a jog to the north with this system. So it got more out in those open waters here, farther enough away from the coast. And shear really drastically decreased, and bam, you could see, I mean, that's how conditions are so perfect here. That's how I was like, oh, you know, if this moved a little farther away from the coast, yeah, they could really explode. That's why you saw a lot of the models earlier in the week when this system was up in here, it was really exploding it. And you could see what could happen out here when conditions are perfect. And those are always our little scary thoughts out here. System will continue to move west-northwest and then weaken as it moves across Central America and Mexico here over the next couple days. It will emerge out in the Bay of Campeche as a very weak system, and the shear is going to be very strong out here in the Gulf of Mexico, so I don't expect any regeneration out here at all. It'll dissipate out in the Bay of Campeche, and again, this system is no threat to the United States. All right, looking at the latest visible shot this morning, you can see a very well organized system here. Starting to see an eye starting to appear here. Might even see an eye pop out on the satellite view before landfall here if this continues. And you can see it made that little jog just north of the Bay Islands here this morning, and that's gotten it better out in the open waters. Outflow is great in all quadrants now, so this is definitely a strengthening system as it moves towards Belize today. And here we go, looking at the, this is this radar out of Belize, and here's that eye, starting to see that on the radar here, right here. So we got a west-northwest movement. Any little jog to the north will take it, definitely the northern eye wall looks like it will come across Belize City here. So this is pretty heavily populated area right in here in Belize. So definitely, guys, if anybody's, I don't know if anybody's listening from Belize, right? I wish, but anybody in this area really should be taking its final precautions here for safety, because a strengthening hurricane as it's moving, it's going to move right into this area right in here. So this could be a pretty bad situation for them, especially if it continues to get stronger. So worst case scenario if this really cranks up into a Category 2 hurricane. But definitely the movement will be just like this. Again, pretty close to Belize City here in about 10 hours. And then here, looking at the shear this morning, you can see that shear really lifted north, and we're in that 5 to 10 knots right now, and really perfect conditions for strengthening. The dry air has all mixed out, low shear. So like I said, for the next 10 hours, all systems are go for this system to continue to strengthen. And again, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Category 2 hurricane at landfall. And again, looking here at, now why did this system jog a little farther to the north the last probably 5-6 hours? Well, look at this little short wave here that just moved through the Gulf of Mexico this morning. Just this little bit of short wave. I mean, we still have high pressure and control here. Don't get me wrong. This thing isn't going to all of a sudden go and make a north turn and come to Florida You folks in Florida know it's not coming, I know. But just this little short wave here just put a little dent in that high pressure system here this morning, and that's created Richard to take a little farther north jog. That's all it takes sometimes to just change the, I mean, it's still going to be on a basic west-northwest move, but just that little dent here just made it just hook up just a little farther to the north. And that's all it took to really get it away from this friction of the land and get it back out more into the open waters. But again, as this passes through, we should be more on that west-northwest track, and high pressure will maintain control up in this area and steer it west-northwest, and then just like this around the periphery of that high pressure in here. And again, the models do show that this morning. You can see west-northwest and then more northwest, and then there won't be much left of this system once it gets in the Bay of Campeche, and wind shear and dry air is going to continue to be very strong out in the Gulf of Mexico. So don't expect anything to regenerate and move up towards the Gulf Coast or anything like that. That's not going to happen with this system. Looking at the GFS ensemble tracks, they've been in pretty good. GFS has done very well with this system, and you can see the tracks have shifted a little farther north, but pretty much centered right near that Belize City area or just to its south. But I'm thinking this is going to come pretty close to Belize City here in about 10 hours or just to the south. And then again, moving across Central America and Mexico and then out into the Bay of Campeche as pretty much a very, very weak system. Okay, looking ahead, what do we have for the rest of the season here? We're almost kind of in the ending of it here as we get closer to November. If you're looking at the extended Euro model here, we're seeing, if you look towards the end here to the beginning of November here, lowering of pressures here in the Central Caribbean again. And then if we go and peek at the GFS model for the first week, here by the end of next week, it looks like it wants to spin up an area of low pressure out here. It could be subtropical, maybe non-tropical low. But then look at the first week of November and bang, here comes another system it's trying to develop here in the Central to Western Caribbean. So that could be our finale for the first week of November, as you know, probably could punch out another system before the season's over. And this could be it right here. As you see, the Euro has that lowering of pressures, and then you see towards the end here the GFS trying to spin up a system out in here. So that'll be our next area to watch in the next couple weeks here. We'll be out again, Central to Western Caribbean, and we'll see where that one goes. Again, most likely, especially in November, this thing's going to go move here and then boom, out to sea. So I still have no worries for the United States for any landfalls the rest of the season. Well, that's it for my tropical update today. I will have another update for you guys tomorrow morning. Stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for your latest weather information, and have a great Sunday.